Welcome back to Starler Play Football with myself, Theo. As always, thank you very much for joining the channel again. If you're new here, please make sure you subscribe, smash that like button, and also leave your comments in the comment section below about what we're going to discuss. Now, we do know that the last 16 of the Euro 2024 tournament has been decided. All of the teams have finished their group stages. We are now at the crucial stage where you cannot mess up. You can't slip up. You have to win every single game to go through and progress to the next round of this tournament. Now, of course, we know obviously who England's going to play. What we're going to try and do in this video is look at all the teams that are available to progress into the next round of the tournament, to get to that quarterfinal stage and to see who potentially could go on to win the tournament outright as well. Now, obviously, if you've been listening to these episodes, you'll know that I personally still think that Portugal still look the likely team to go through, win it all. They look like they've got a good squad. I know they got beat by Georgia last night, but that I think was just down to the fact they were already through. But I do think they've got enough about them to go on and progress throughout the tournament and eventually possibly win it. And they've got, they've got a nice draw in the last 16. So we'll talk about that shortly. But let's just quickly talk about England, because obviously England will be playing Slovakia in the next round, the last 16. And if you listen to the video yesterday and the videos we put out before then with myself, Kojo and Damon, you'll know that we all kind of are saying the same thing, that Gareth Southgate has to get the best out of this team going forward, and he has to make sure that the team that he puts out is the team that is capable of winning that game on Sunday. The game kicks off at 5 p.m. UK time. If you're not watching that game, I don't know what you're doing, but you need to give your head a wobble, because it's going to be a good game. Hopefully some changes in there in terms of the lineup. Now, I've always said that Trent needs to play it right back. I'm sticking with that. I think Joe Gomez should come in at left back. I don't think Gareth Southgate's got the balls to change things at this precise moment now, with so much at stake in terms of the knockout stages and what he needs to try and do. I think he'll stick with Trippier, but I would play Joe Gomez at left back. I think we need to see either Kobe Mainoo or Jude Bellingham alongside Declan Rice in that midfield. I was impressed with Conor Gallagher for 45 minutes, but I think in a game where you're going to have a lot of the ball, a lot of possession, or you should have a lot of possession in the game against Slovakia, I think it would make more sense to allow someone like Bellingham to push higher up the pitch. Even from the deeper position in midfield, he should be having the qualities and capability to do that for the team on Sunday. Now, going forward, I've gone for the usual Foden as a number 10. Yes, you heard right, Phil Foden as a number 10. As we know, Foden had to fly home to see his new child. I think he's on his third or fourth child now. I think his third child at the age of 24, flew home to see the birth of his child last night. He is expected back in Germany for the game on Sunday. I would start with Foden. He's played obviously a lot of the games. He's got the match fitness there already. He's played the 3 games already in the group stages. I would stick with him as the 10. I would stick with Anthony Gordon, who had a cameo appearance against Slovenia the other day. And also, again, I would go with Cole Palmer, who looks like a breath of fresh air whenever he's got the ball. There's just something about Cole Palmer. Maybe this is my Chelsea bias coming out, but there is something about Cole Palmer. When he's on the ball, you expect some magic to happen. You expect something to change. The ball into the box, a bit of trickery, taking on a player, running down that wing, doing something. And I think he's just a bit more ambitious, adventurous going forward with the ball, more so than Saka has shown us so far in the tournament. Now, obviously, the big key point is, does Harry Kane get dropped, or do you keep Harry Kane in? Toss of a coin for me, really, because I feel like he's someone that you do need in the team. He's someone that will give an opportunity to score a goal, but also Ollie Watkins can do that as well. And I think, I said yesterday, I think when we recorded the review of the game against Slovenia, I did say that I think this is probably the worst time for Gareth Southgate to try and experiment with the team. The time to experiment was against Slovenia the other day. He didn't do that. And now we're at a point where we have to stick with this team, regardless of who we probably want in that team. I can't see Gareth Southgate making many changes in it from what I think anyway. But who am I? I'm just sat here. Gareth Southgate's in Germany talking to the boys over there, getting them ready for Sunday. But let's get into it. Let's go to the round of last 16, as we know it to be. Now, the first one, Spain versus Georgia. Who do I think will go through from Spain versus Georgia? Now, Georgia are a sneaky team, because if you watched them last night, you'll know that they had a very, very good game against a very good Portugal side, even though they had a couple of players rested, they brought Ronaldo off midway through the second half. But Georgia looked good. They're a team that I spoke about before the tournament started alongside Albania. We don't know really much about them apart from their star players that they've got that play in the European League, but we don't really know much about Georgia. And they haven't had the best of run-ins before the tournament. They didn't play well throughout the qualifiers and the warm-up games as well. So, they're in for a good chance of progressing beyond this. I look at Spain. Obviously, Spain's squad's really good as well. They've got some really good players in there that we reviewed before the game. I'd like to see Georgia get through just because I feel like they're a team that deserves it. This is their first time, I think, in their history of European football that they've been able to get out of a group stage and into the knockout stage. So it would be for sentimental reasons and maybe reasons for the Georgian community and the country itself to see them progress. But Spain, I think, will have too much for them on the day. Going forward in their midfield, defensively, I think they're a bit more solid, and obviously in their goalkeeper options as well are much more solid than Georgia's. But yeah, I'm gonna go for Spain in that one. I can see Spain progressing into the quarterfinals in that one there. Then the next game will be Germany versus Denmark, a game that I'm looking forward to now. Germany are a team that have played really, really well throughout this tournament. They've played really good football. Obviously, we know about Jamal Musiala. We've seen how they've set up in their games, and they are one of those favourites to win the tournament outright. I look at Denmark and I don't really see much with them. If I'm honest, I don't see them progressing. I see them struggling really badly against Germany. I think Germany will just have too much for them. And yeah, I just don't see them being able to progress any further. I think Germany are just a team that will dominate the ball. They'll cause a lot of problems, I think, for Denmark as well. And I just can't see them getting past a really good German side as they are at the moment. So I'm going to go Germany in that one. Obviously, as I said at the very start of this, I've backed Portugal all the way throughout this tournament to win it outright. I'm sticking with that. I think Portugal versus Slovenia will be a very one-sided game. I can see, obviously, Portugal, they just look solid, man. Their squad is crazy. They've got players on the bench that can come on and like for like almost. I don't think Leao played last night. They've just got quality in that squad, man. And I feel like this is almost like the Belgium team that Roberto Martinez had at that time as well. And obviously he's coming to this team now. He's got a very good team around him in terms of what he's got at his disposal on the bench and the starting 11. Their goalkeepers are really solid as well. Diego Costa's a very good goalkeeper. They've just got it, man. They've just got it. And I look at the way that they play football. Even last night with João Felix as well, just running rings around those players. Ronaldo was a bit ineffective, I thought, last night, but I think, again, very much like Harry Kane, Ronaldo just needs one or two chances. He's the leading goal scorer for Portugal. You know what he can do on free kicks. You know what he can do in terms of being able to cause issues for a defense going forward. And then he's not as fast anymore. He's not as mobile as he was, 10 years ago. He's 39 years of age. But I still think Ronaldo has a massive job to play in this Euros. And I think he will be able to easily walk past Slovenia with his Portuguese team there as well. But I'm going to go Portugal in that one. And I think they'll progress not only through to the quarters, but for the semis and to the finals. And maybe they could go on to win that. But the next game is France versus Belgium. This is a game that I'm actually looking forward to. The only game really, maybe the Austria-Turkey game that's also in the mix as well. But this game I feel could give us a really entertaining game. And one of the things I've said about the tournament so far is that I haven't really seen a game or watched a game where it's entertaining from start to end, or it's entertaining throughout. There's been spells in games. You look at Austria's game against Netherlands the other day, that was really good. Serbia versus Slovenia was really good, the way that ended as well. But there's not been a game where I've been gripped and I thought, this is the game of the tournament so far. And usually you get to this knockout stage and you've got that sort of Euro fever. You're looking forward to the games. I'm watching the games and I'm sort of looking around to see what else I can do. Shall I open a laptop, play Football Manager? I'm just looking at other things to do while the game's on. And normally I'm gripped to the TV. So I'm hoping this game will be the first game that will give us that moment where we look at the game, There's a lot of talent out there. I thought Kevin De Bruyne last night was amazing. Just in some of the passing that he was trying to do, the link up play with Lukaku. But Lukaku, you don't do yourself any favors, my guy, because there's that meme with Lukaku with the Timberlands on when he was playing for United. He played with those the Timberlands on last night because the ball that Kevin De Bruyne passed through to you, you have to score that. You have to score that. There's no ifs and buts. You have to score that. It's simple. So I think personally for me, this is the last ditch attempt for someone like Kevin De Bruyne, Lukaku, to get some sort of honours at international stage. And I feel like they've had opportunities before this to do it. This for me will be the last point call, the last ditch attempt, the last dance for Kevin De Bruyne and Romelu Lukaku to get something with this Belgium squad. They've got to come up against a really good French team. We know about France already. Obviously, Mbappe's missed a couple of the games through to the broken nose that he received, but he'll be back. I'm sure he'll come in. He'll start the knockout games and he'll kick off where he left off in the game before he got his broken nose. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he plays the game. Obviously, have the mask on, will that impact him going forward, and just understanding how he'll cope with that throughout the games. But I think he's world class, so I think he should be able to cope with that easily. I can see France going through that game. I think they'll have a bit more, too much more than Belgium. I know they haven't scored a goal in open play so far this tournament, but I think they'll have too much for Belgium. And I think some nations, they somehow just turn it on when they need to. And I think France will be able to do that. They know it's knockout stage football now. There's no second chance at this. You have to play the best you can in that 90 minutes or the extra time and penalties as well. But you have to play like it's your last game. And I think France will just turn it up and turn it on. And they'll win against Belgium. Now, the next game, Romania, Netherlands. I'm going to be honest, man. I think the Romanians can do something here. I really do. I look at Romania and I just look, they topped the group. They played really well. They look like a really well drilled team in terms of when they haven't got the ball, they know how to defend as a unit. And when they have got the ball, they know about that counter press, that quick getting the ball through those progressions of play and getting it up to the attackers and playing well. And I think that they are the team that not many people are talking about, but they're actually just going about their football in the right way and just getting on with their thing, getting on with their business and then just getting on with it. And I feel like they could cause problems for Netherlands, who I know Cody Gakpo scored a really good goal, but defensively they look a bit shaky, Netherlands. And I know they got Van Dijk, who is deemed to be one of the best defenders in the world, but I think they look shaky. And I look at their midfield, I look at their attackers going forward, and I just don't know if they've got enough. And I think Romania will be up for the game. I don't think Romania will sit back. I don't think Romania will sit back and soak in pressure. I think they'll go for the game. They have to go for it because, as I said, knockout football, you only get the one chance at this. I think they're going to go, and I think they'll probably try and get an early goal against the Netherlands and try and do something. And if they get the early goal as well, another good thing about them is they can sit back. The one thing they can't do, is sit back and allow Netherlands to play the game. They have to go for another goal and keep on that attacking front row. A bit like Georgia last night against Portugal. They have to keep going and try and get that second goal. But I can see Romania going through, so I'm going to stick with Romania on that one. Austria versus Turkey, I think will be a really good game. I feel like Turkey can hurt Austria, but Austria have been playing some really good football as well. We have to remember that Austria are playing some really good football at the moment. Again, one of the underdogs that not many people would have said would probably make the knockout stages. They're missing one of their key players in Alaba, but they still look a really, really good unit, a really good team at the moment. Ralph Ragnick has got them playing some really good football. I'm gonna go Austria. I'm gonna go Austria in that one. We spoke about England, Slovakia. I think England will go through. I think that in order to go through, I think Gareth Southgate has to change a lot of things in the squad. Though I think he has to change it, and if he doesn't change it, I think he has to make sure that during the game he changes things at the right moment. Don't leave it till the 70th, 80th minute. If you go 1-0 up, don't sit back and invite pressure. You have, like I've just said about Austria and about Romania, you have to go and get the goals. You can't sit back on a 1-0 like we did against Italy in the final a couple of years ago. You have to go and get more goals. And I'm going to say it now. I think I've said it on the 3 last videos I've done. I don't know where the goals come from. Surprisingly, I don't know where the goals come from for England. And I think that has to be something that has to be addressed. Whether that's Gordon and Palmer giving you a bit more options and a bit more chances in the box going forward, I think they can do that. But Harry Kane has to step up now. And like I said before, with France, some nations somehow know how to just switch it on during the knockout stages and know how to get that extra level out of the team. But that falls on Gareth Southgate. Southgate has to get the best out of that team and make sure that the team are playing well and get them to play the way that he wants them to play and get the buy-in, like I said the other day, from the players. All this talk about Saka at left back needs to be dropped and put to bed, because we can't have Saka at left back. We've just been talking about Trent, the experiment with him, and Foden with left wing, an experiment with him. Why would we then go and do the same for Saka at left back? If it ain't working for Saka at right wing, drop him, put Palmer in, stick Gomez, or you keep Trippier at left back and continue with the football. Because Trippier hasn't done that bad, but he's just very predictable going onto his right foot and cutting in. You know he's going to do that every time he gets the ball, or he's going to try and bring the ball back towards our own end. So, you know, you have to switch things up during the game. And for me personally, if we go 1-0 up, I would keep him on. But you have to change something in that midfield, or maybe one of the front three, whether that's Kane, Cole, Palmer, or Anthony Gordon. You've got to change one of those front three if all 3 of them start. But obviously, England, I think, will get through against Slovakia. Looking forward to the game, 5 p.m. as I said, Sunday. Should be a good game. And the final game of the the last 16, is Switzerland versus Italy. Now, this is a game where I'm not really sure which way it's going to go. I think Italy should do it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Switzerland do a madness and get through. I think Italy have got enough about them, but I think Italy. It's tough, man. I could see this one. This is the one game I could probably see going through to extra time, penalties, and it could be any team that goes through on that one. I can't even decide. If I was pushed, I would say Italy, but I think this is the one game I could see going through to extra time and penalties, and then it's anyone's. Then it's a lottery of who goes through. So I'm going to sit on the fence for that one. I didn't want to, but for the last 16 game, I'm going to sit on the fence with Switzerland and Italy and not give you a prediction of who I think will go through. But that's the round of 16. That's who we've got to look forward to the next couple of days. Surprisingly, there's no football, and I think now until Saturday, I think it is, the last 16 kicks off on Saturday. So there's a small break in the Euros for us to just enjoy other things like the Copa America. If you're a Copa America fan, there's a lot of that stuff coming on. I watched Jamaica got beaten 3-1 by Ecuador last night. We will be doing some Premier League and Football League episodes as well over the next couple of weeks. So make sure you're tuning in for them as well. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you like this video. Let me leave your comments as well. Leave them below. Let me know who you think will go through to the last, throughout the last 16 into the quarterfinals of the Euros as well. Let me know who you think will get there. And should Gareth Southgate swap and change his squad for Sunday's game? Give me your thoughts below. This has been Theo's Style of Play. Until tomorrow, we will be back with another video. Until then, enjoy the rest of the day. And I'm out, man. I'm out.